The best way that I really can look at Disney right now and compare it to is Bizarro's Superman, where it's basically an alternate version of what the company used to be many years ago, and the Bizarro version of Disney, aka the Disney of modern times right now, I like to call it just Dinsey as of this moment. Now we know that there's a lot of things happening with Disney and what they have been up to in recent times, everything ranging from Snow White to The Little Mermaid to their plans with Tinkerbell and a lot of other live-action remakes on the horizon, such as Sword in the Stone, Hercules, Lilo and Stitch, The Black Cauldron, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. They are going to be exploring so many different avenues to really kind of just flip things upside down with their animated movies getting transferred into live action. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, the thing about Rachel Zegler is that we know that she is definitely at the top of the Insufferables. Alright, that's the group of individuals, such as actors and actresses that I like to call them, pretty much, inspired from the Expendables, you got the Insufferables. So when you look at Rachel Zegler, I feel she makes Brie Larson and Phoebe Waller-Bridge look tolerable. That's just my own personal opinion. And there's a lot of things going on with Zegler's reaction to the recent South Park episode, joining the Panderverse by Comedy Central, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, etc. And this is where things get even more complex about how Rachel Zegler works as an actress and as a person, and what's been going on through her head behind the scenes when it comes to her view of South Park. Let's get into it. Now, with Rachel Zegler recently fired and blacklisted from multiple studios, we talked about this months ago, and the list growing as the drama surrounding Snow White gets worse, one major development has to do with Rachel Zegler's stance on South Park's event Panderverse. Both Mark Webb and Greta Gerwig delivered the following, starting off with Mark Webb, the director of Snow White. I have worked with Rachel well for 6 months of filming back in 2022. Snow White, and I as a director felt it was necessary to keep in touch with her. We recently had an intense conversation about the unfairness from many studios such as Comedy Central, and I can confirm that Rachel was absolutely offended over the creators of that show for creating a terrible parody over supporting different ethnic backgrounds, and I completely understand where she is coming from. Once we work out everything with SAG, Rachel is already set to make a direct and detailed comment and statement about her stance on everything that Comedy Central has been trying to do against Disney. And having worked with Disney, I too am offended over their motives. Rachel feels this is nothing more than a cowardly act by Comedy Central by embracing a childish act to encourage uninformed individuals in this world about how important equality really is. Now, apart from Mark Webb, Greta Gerwig, the writer of Snow White, then stepped in and commented the following. Having witnessed the significant backlash, and wrongfully so, enough for Rachel Zegler to drop in on her thoughts I had with Comedy Central's moves to embarrass Disney, and she felt it was also like what she had told Mark, a complete cowardly response to Disney about the usage of DEI in film and television. Now guys, let me just stop here quick about what Gerwig and Webb are touching on, is that they are really confirming about what's going through Rachel Zegler's mind about South Park, and about South Park's, overall new episode or event, whatever have you, Panderverse, and how they're viewing this as a cowardly act. Rachel Zegler is viewing this as a cowardly act, and a childish one at that, by Parker and Stone. She and they feel that this is a way for Parker, Stone, Comedy Central to basically becoming afraid of the usage of DEI. And it's just ridiculous, it's ludicrous that people like this are leading the Snow White 2025 film, and yes, for those of you that do not know, it has been delayed a whole year till March of 2025 for several different factors, not just because of SAG-AFTRA, but they are also going to be doing extensive reshoots. We have a lot to talk about that later in the week. We're going to be taking our time on gathering a lot of details about that, so stay tuned for all of this. What's interesting, though, about this further is the fact that you got someone like Mark Webb and Greta Gerwig seemingly supporting Rachel Zegler, putting her up on stage figuratively speaking, as if she is like the best shining light in Hollywood. And this is where things get even more worse about what Greta Gerwig is about to say about Rachel Zegler. Let's get into it. She goes on to elaborate, a complete cowardly response to Disney about the usage of DEI in film and television. As a writer and creator of Barbie, I am all for women, and Rachel feels the creators of South Park are just afraid of female empowerment in film, and they are responsible for also encouraging others to become opposed to that view of supporting female-driven characters by those that come from different ethnic backgrounds. And I think Rachel is a powerful figure in this world. I genuinely believe that she should be the new it girl in Hollywood and in the film industry, since she holds both amazing capabilities of acting and singing that can be applied to other films alike. Let me just pause here. Greta Gerwig, I don't think, understands that there are many actresses out there that also sing. Rachel Zegler is not the only one, and I'm sure a lot of you can actually think of multiple actresses right now off the top of your head that can also sing. That's how crazy people like Gerwig and Webb think. They believe that everything's about themselves, everything's about their project, about their actors that they get the chance to work with, etc. Now, moving down the line here, she goes on to conclude, I personally am very honored to know that Rachel is preparing an important statement about the usage of empowering females in the film industry, and how Comedy Central used their parody as a strategy to go against all of that. It's just further proof that Rachel was right that studios like Comedy Central lack common sense. Now again, Rachel Zegler is someone that made these ludicrous, statements about the whole Taylor Swift drama, about her view of Snow White 1937 with the prince becoming a stalker, and how she said something so awful about Andrew Burnap quite possibly getting cut out of the movie down the road because it's Hollywood, baby. That's all of the different things that Rachel Zegler has been engaging with that led to all the drama and all of the controversy surrounding not just herself as an actress, but also as a person, because she has no filter on social media. She doesn't care about anything moving onwards. She doesn't care about any kind of ramifications or challenges that come her way or consequences. This is exactly what goes to show you that people like Rachel Zegler really just don't care about what happens at the end of the day. They just want to keep on pushing the nonsense, pushing the agendas, and making that, as they like to call it, the new normal. As Kathleen Kennedy likes to call it, the new normal, at least. So we already know that Rachel Zegler's got a very bad imprint in Hollywood. As we speak, she is blacklisted, and, rightfully so, from many Hollywood studios. Specifically the latest one, for example, Universal Studios. We'll talk about that, actually, at the end of the week. There's more drama surrounding that. But overall, I would really love to hear what you all have to say about the Rachel Zegler situation, the South Park Panderverse episode, and more. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.